to Crochet Along with Miss Carol at the Bloomingdale Public Library. Today our project is going to be a wave stitch scarf pattern. Now the thing about this pattern that I hope you learn today is that I'm going to teach you the basics of this repeated pattern, and you can use it to make a scarf or a pillow or a top or an afghan. I'm going to show you how to figure out how many stitches you need for whatever length it is that you're working on. The project that I'm going to make today for demonstration purposes is a scarf. I'm going to be using a yarn that was donated to the library for our programming. It's made by Karen. It's called Colorama Ogo, and it comes in kind of a strange looking skein, which is supposed to be easier to pull from, so that I did not put my yarn in a ball like I usually do, but I'm using it straight from the skein. When you take the paper off of this, it looks like an O, thus the name Ogo, and then you cut that apart so that it makes a long snaky-like thing. I'm going to use two colors, a basic black and sort of a pinkish, they call it sticky rice. These are colors that were on clearance. I don't believe that Karen is making these colors anymore. You can use whatever colors that you want to. These are a size 5. Here's my thing. These are a size 5 weight yarn. So choose your yarn accordingly, but you can use any yarn weight you want to for this pattern. Just measure it as you go along to make sure that your project is going to be the size that you want it. So our starting chain instruction for this is given in the form of make your stitch in a multiple number plus another number. My skeiner. So I need to use a multiple of 6 plus 5, which means I'm going to start with my slip stitch. I'm not going to leave an extra long tail because I'm going to put a border around this and be able to work my tail into the work with the border. So I don't need it long enough that I can use a needle to work it in. So here I have my slip knot, and I'm going to start chaining. And the way I do this when I'm working with a pattern that tells me to do a multiple number and then add a number at the end is I just start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I count another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I count another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I'm making a scarf. I don't want it to be too wide, so I'm going to stop at 3 repeats. But I have to add those extra stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I have a chain that is 18 plus 5, which makes 23 chain stitches. One of those extra 5 is so that I can have a turning chain, so that I'm going to do a scarf that is 22 stitches wide. My first instruction is to do a foundation row of single crochet stitches. So I'm going to skip that first one, so that's my turning chain, and crochet into my chain with my just single crochet. And I'll have 22 single crochet. I did write this pattern up. You can find it on our website, mybpl.org, under programs. Then pull the menu down. At the very bottom of the menu, you will have a link to Youth Services Program handouts. Click on that. Then look for the folder that has the Crochet Along with Miss Carol patterns in it. Click there and you will find the wave stitch scarf pattern and have all of the instructions written out for you. The written pattern I did with 29 stitches to make a little bit wider scarf. But like I said, this pattern is done so that you can adjust it and make it as wide or as narrow as you want. All right, we're almost to the end here. And then we'll start with our wave pattern. This pattern came about because I was teaching a young lady about crocheting, and she knew an awful lot about crocheting, but she didn't know the names of the stitches and she didn't know a wide variety of stitches. So I wanted her to practice doing a single crochet, a half double crochet, a double crochet, and a treble crochet. And so I just had her do those one after the other, and it made a wave pattern. And I thought, oh, that would make a great scarf or an afghan or something. So I wrote it up as a pattern to use. So I have one foundation row of all single crochet stitches. So going back the other way, I'm going to start my pattern. I did one chain for my turning crochet. I'm always going to start with a single crochet. And then I'm going to work up. I do a single crochet, a half double crochet, a double crochet. Then I'm going to do a treble crochet, which just means that I'm going to yarn over twice, go through my stitch, yarn over and pull up, and then I go through once, twice, 3 times. Then I work my way back down. I do the double crochet, 1 time, 2 times, a half double, which means I yarn over, go through my stitch, pull up, go through all 3 at one time, and then my single. And then I go back up, the half double, the double. None of these stitches are hard to do. They're all very basic stitches. I do find that when I'm working this pattern, it's not a good time to talk to my friends because I lose track of what stitch I just did and what stitch I need to do next. So it does take some concentration, especially at the beginning, so that you can get the pattern set so that it goes up and down. So I did a single, I'm going to do that half double. Here we have a double and my triple, or treble as it's called, as it's written out. We do the double, the half double, a single. Then back up again, the half double, a double, and then in the last stitch, I'm going to do my triple. So I always start each row with, I start each row with a single, and I end each row with a half double. I am not going to finish. I end each row with a treble, sorry. I'm not going to finish my treble crochet because I'm going to change colors here. I want to show you, do you see how that makes a wave? It goes up and then down and then up and then down and just repeats that way. If I change to a dark color here, and to change, I leave that last stitch undone. Oops. Plastic thing was in the way there. I leave that last stitch undone. I switch to my new color yarn and I don't usually work with black, but here I want it to show very clearly against my light colored yarn. So I'm going to just pull that through there and do a single crochet, just like that. I'm sorry, that was a chain. Do a chain, turn it around, and I start with my single crochet. Now that I've got my first stitch in there, I'm going to cut my yarn so that they're the same size. And then I'm going to take my 2 yarn tails and lay them across so that I work over the top of them. I don't need that much. I don't want it to go all the way across. So I'm going to cut some of that off. But so I don't have it pull out, I'm just going to tie a quick square knot to hold them together, and then I will crochet over those ends so that they don't show and I don't have it come apart. So I'm going to run those along the bottom here. I started with that single crochet, and then I'm going to yarn over and do a half double crochet. Yarn over and do my double crochet. And now I'm ready to do my triple crochet, so I'm going to yarn over twice. And you'll see here that I am triple crocheting in the single crochet, so that my longest part of my new color is in the shortest part of my previous color. And then work my way back down with a double. And a half double. And my single. And then again, my single crochet should be going into the top of a treble crochet. Can you see that? Bring it up here. So this is the single, and it's going into the top of the treble. I still find when I'm working on this pattern that I'm doing a single crochet and it's not a treble that I'm working in. And that's when I know I need to go back and see if I did 2 of 1 stitch or skipped a stitch somewhere, because I got distracted while I was working. You can see how the dark yarn shows up against the light colored yarn. I am going to do my project so that from now on I'm going to go across with the black and then come back with the black and then start the light colored yarn again, so that I do 2 rows in each color, and that gives me that nice wave pattern through my scarf. You go ahead and work on yours at home. If you need to rewind and look at the stitch sequence again and how we did it, go ahead and do that. And we'll come back when I've got a few rows done so that we can see what it looks like. Okay, so I have finished several rows of this so that you can see how the contrasting colors show off the wave pattern of the stitch. There is some other ways to make the up and down patterns that you'll use. The ripple stitch is a very common one. This gives a little bit different look, and it gives you the chance to practice your different stitches: the single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, and treble crochet. Have fun with it. Make whatever you want. Please send me a picture of the creations that you've made. You can send them to my email address at cleeson, CLEESON, @mybpl.org. Have fun stitching, and I'll see you the next time.